It's day 4 of the quarantine and we're going crazy. I've been long locked down for 4 days and I've read 3 books and I've tried doing yoga about 3 or 4 times. I've actually found a couple really good yoga instructors online. But I know if you're anything like me, you're probably going a little bit stir crazy. Obviously everyone is being quarantined in their respective cities and states for good reason. But for those of us that maybe go out to eat a lot, or regardless of if you have kids or not, I think a lot of us just kind of rely on convenience in these days. So I decided that I would kind of showcase some of my favorite recipes that are easy to make while we're inside. Obviously my whole brand is Blond About Town and I've been wanting to create fun, fresh content, but a lot of entertainment is obviously put on hold for right now. So what I wanted to showcase for you guys today is a really quick 10-minute pizza crust. Traditionally, making pizza crusts, they're already really simple, but I think a lot of people get intimidated because it takes a while for the yeast to rise. So I actually went online and I found a pizza crust recipe that replaces yeast with baking powder. And so instead of chilling it for, I think sometimes they have like an hour to overnight, this only takes like 10 minutes to put together. So I wanted to give you guys this recipe, and feel free, it probably has a lot of the ingredients that you have on hand in your pantry. So why not take advantage of being housebound and maybe cook up some new recipes for your family. So first off, we're going to start off with 2 1/4 cups of the recipe called for all-purpose flour, but I just had whole wheat flour, so we are going to all be the judge of how this turns out. I'm hoping for the best. I've subbed whole wheat flour in the past for all-purpose, and I've had great results. So yeah, just gonna hope for the best. So I actually did pre-measure this, so that's why I'm dumping it all in. And the second ingredient is 1 tablespoon of baking powder, which I also pre-measured. Baking powder is the key ingredient because that's going to give the crust that rise that traditionally yeast will. And then we have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, which is just a teeny tiny little bit. So I measured that out. And then we have a cup of milk, which is right here. I haven't made this recipe before, but I assume that you could probably sub non-dairy milk, which I know is super popular, and nowadays it provides great results with a lot of recipes. Almond milk, coconut milk, soy milk, you name it. And then lastly, I have just a 1/4 cup of room temperature butter. So about 10 minutes ago, I just took this out of the fridge, and a quick tip is I just put it for 15 seconds, zapped it in the microwave. So that makes it room temperature. So I'm just gonna pour this in. And this little bowl itself is actually came with my amazing KitchenAid mixer that my husband gave me for Christmas. It was something that I had my eye on for a long time, and I wasn't sure, you know, everyone raves about them, and I was like, are these that good? And yes, they're that good. I can't tell you how many times that I've used my KitchenAid. So stay tuned, and I'm gonna show you the dough itself after I mix it. Now that we have the pizza crust ready, I am going to do the fun part, which is top it. As I mentioned before, Trader Joe's is such a go-to for me because they just make a lot of things easier, but you could really use any store-bought shortcuts. I just typically have a lot of these ingredients kind of on hand. So as I mentioned before, pizza is one of my main food groups, so I had it not too long ago, so I'm just going to use a little bit of leftover sauce I have. This is Trader Joe's again, super easy. It makes about 2 pizzas worth, which is great. So I have this sauce. You certainly don't need to add dairy, but for those of us that do like it or can tolerate it, I love burrata. which is basically mozzarella, but it's just a little bit smoother and creamier, and it's just my absolute favorite. So I tried giving up dairy about a year ago, and I know a lot of people are lactose intolerant, but I didn't really see or feel a difference. Maybe I should have waited a little longer, but for me, I can't imagine a world without cheese, so I try to be healthy in other ways. Anyway, this isn't really about being healthy. This is about shortcuts and enjoying your life, and us being quarantined and going crazy and wanting to just kind of have a quick and easy meal. So this is, like I said, fresh burrata. So my hands are clean. I've been really OCD about washing them lately, always, but even more so lately. I just like to shred it. It's so creamy and good, and I'm OCD about washing my hands, but not so much about like the placement of this cheese. So it'll be all melty, and you can't really worry about it getting too messy here. It's so delicious. So I'm gonna wash my hands. All right, so as far as toppings, you know the drill. Pizza, this is the easy part. I'm not a vegetarian, but I love veggies, and this is another thing that comes really in handy when you get those frozen veggies. I didn't know how long we were gonna be, kind of what was gonna happen, obviously did, but we were kind of nervous about buying groceries and the potential for quarantine, so we went out and bought a lot of frozen veggies. So I'm just topping this with some peppers and some onions and mushrooms. You can add obviously whatever you want. All right, so I already have the oven pre-prepped at 450, and I'm gonna pop this baby in for 10 to 12 minutes. Like I said, this is an experiment because it is my first time making this, so we shall see. The big thing I'm kind of curious about is the crust, but look how pretty that looks. Don't let it fall, the videos are worse. All right. So the final product is here. I am really excited with how it turned out. I haven't tasted it yet, so that will be the final part of this video. But first impression, it looks like normal, amazing, gooey, yummy pizza. The crust itself kind of reminds me more of like a scone texture. So it isn't overburnt. Like I said, I baked it for about 11 minutes exactly at 450. So it's not the exact same texture as like a typical pizza dough, but it's kind of flaky, and I would say more pastry-y, which is probably because of obviously the baking powder. So I think it's a great substitute. Like if you know, again, we've also talked about having like a bread shortage. A lot of the grocery stores have been closed or running out of things like eggs and milk and bread. And so this is also kind of a cool, very simple way to make a bread base, the dough itself. So anyway, I'm gonna slice this baby up and tell you how it tastes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun making it. Who doesn't love pizza and wine? It was super simple, and I hope you guys stick around because I plan on doing more recipes like this, especially during the quarantine, when a lot of us are looking for really simple recipes from ingredients that we have on hand.